There's been some fan backlash because a relationship has occurred.
Okay.
Which, to me personally, I just think that relationship had no lead up. I think I even might go back and watch some of our old episodes because I was like, is this just a relationship that I just missed? So I think someone might like the Doctor, but then they might get killed.
Oh. Now these episodes...
It's not complete.
So 1 and 3 were the full episodes?
And 2 and 4... they were just images.
Yeah.
With the stage directions and the audio.
Yeah. 2 of the photos are particularly funny to me. One of them was the real King Richard looking directly at the camera side on, so he's just like that. But it's like that for like 2 minutes because it's the story.
And he's just speaking.
Yes.
They're like, we better put a picture of him up.
And one of them is, no one thought to get a better shot of Barbara because there's one shot where she's getting up and her face is like this.
Yeah, no, yeah. It does switch back to video because I guess it's the start of the next episode.
Yeah, the cliffhanger.
And so she's hiding behind a pillar, like a wall or something, and a guy puts a hand over her mouth and like pulls her in. But they hold that shot for so long of her standing there with the hand over her mouth. And I know why they have to, because the credits start to roll and... but it just looks like... they're just looking into each other's eyes, and he's just like...
very creepy?
It was a long time.
Wheel of Fortune. How does that apply to the episode? Why is it called the Wheel of Fortune? I mean, there's no game show.
I did just make me think of the game show. How good would that have been?
King Richard, come on down!
To determine the terms of the treaty, we'll play Wheel of Fortune.
Pull that lever!
This will make round 1 very interesting.
Why is it Wheel of Fortune? Because there's not even anything fortuitous that happens.
No.
I just want the frozen pictures situation. I also think it was really weird. There was a photo of King Richard and Joanna when she first sees him, and they were like, they're very close.
They obviously had a quick embrace as brother and sister.
But because it's a photo, it lingers.
On one shot where they're particularly close.
Yeah, and you're like, ugh. In fact, trivia for you. A line from William Hartnell was cut that suggested that the two of them were brother and sister doing things together.
I mean, is that historically what is said to have happened?
I tried to look that up, and I don't think there's anything
Okay.
definite to say.
No wonder she's so angry about being promised in marriage to someone else. She's like, yeah, but I love you, brother.
Historically, she marries someone else, not her brother. The Doctor steals clothes and ruins a man's business.
Yeah. And also justifies stealing in general.
Yeah.
Having been stolen once, they can be stolen again, or perhaps borrowed, shall we say?
While the owner of the store is distracted, the Doctor hides underneath a table with some clothes. He's just taking clothes off the table that he's hiding under.
Yes.
And he ties up a piece of rope to the next table.
Yeah.
So when the guy turns around, he's like, oh, where'd the Doctor go? The Doctor pulls the rope and breaks the other table, ruining like some silk and some fabrics and whatever. Comes out and gives Vicky the clothes, and then he's like, oh, look at that, I'm so sorry about your table. I'll be back. I'll come back later. And just leaves. So he stole a bunch of his stuff.
Is that normal? I wanted to ask you.
No.
I also liked his good afternoon trick.
Good afternoon.
I just think it's really funny that they didn't even think about Barbara.
Well, I mean, usually she's the hero. Why would they be worried about it? Have you watched Schitt's Creek?
No. I
I
don't watch a lot of TV. Just Doctor Who.
There's a town sign that looks inappropriate the way this man and woman are on the sign. And it's an accident, but it's inappropriate. The guy wants to change the sign, but the mayor says, that's my family, that's been in there for generations. And later he says, don't worry, that's him and his sister, that's not his wife, that's why it's not inappropriate. Which obviously makes it worse. And so to try to clear it up, he puts another sign up that says, don't worry, it's his sister. And I thought, I'm going to put a picture up of this, and I'll put the same sign up. Don't worry, it's his sister.
That's pretty good. And we'll get to Ian because that's a whole other story.
Oh, that's a good story.
Okay, so
On the Wheel of Fortune.
This will make round one very interesting.
Ian wakes up and he's all tied up.
Yes.
And it's funny because it's all images. So he's just like this.
They're great.
And then there's the guy that's captured him. And he's all like, oh, hello.
He's kind of a comical character.
He is... I have some questions about how that storyline plays out. Because the guy's like, you've told me you're important and you can pay me. But until you can prove otherwise, I'm putting all this honey out from this ant's nest to you. The ants are going to follow the honey and then eventually... they're going to slowly start, I guess, eating you.
Right.
So we cut away from him for a while, and there's a lovely shot with the stage notes that are like the ants are getting closer to Ian, and it's just a picture of ants. So
You can't even tell they're ants. It's just like a black blob because of the resolution, the fact that it's a still image.
yeah.
But they're just like, oh, these are the ants, and they're getting closer.
So he says to Barbara, the rest of his family's been killed. But he hasn't told that to his daughter. But he says to her, I'm going to go out there and have a look for the people following you. Here's a knife. If they find you, kill my daughter and then kill yourself. It's better than getting made prisoner again. And so he leaves. He's given her his knife. And he goes out and gets immediately killed because a soldier approaches him.
Yep.
And the first thing, there's no, what can I do for you?
Who
you
are
looking for
you?
someone?
Yeah.
He goes to grab his knife, realizes it's not there because he's given it to Barbara, and then just gets immediately stabbed. And I was like, is this guy for real? Like, you've done a terrible job of protecting Barbara.
Yep.
Because they've gone, okay, this guy's tried to draw a knife that he doesn't have and kill someone. We'll go to his house.
Yeah, find out
Because
what
that's
the deal
suspicious.
is. That's very suspicious.
You know what it made me think of? It made me think of Robin Hood. He's come back from the Crusades. Isn't he loyal to King Richard? And Prince John is trying to be the new king?
I don't know the story well enough. I did think of Robin Hood when I saw the way that they dressed Vicky up.
Yeah. Yep. Joanna glues in on it and she's like, oh, this is Vicky. And they give her nice girl clothes.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Joanna's also like, you'll be under my protection and you'll accompany me to every place.
I think she's just starved of female friends because all she's got is her brother, and I don't know how close they are, and a bunch of other men.
Just put that shot back up. I don't know how close they are.
It's okay. It's a sister.
He's all like, well, we could torture her for sport. Like, you know, you like to watch things. We could make her walk on coals, or we could just kill her in front of you. And he asks her, like, what do you think of this? And she says,
It sounds like the punishment for a fool.
It does. And who here is the most foolish?
and I think that's a clever thing she said there. Barbara escapes. It's not in video because we don't have the video, but there's just shots of her like hiding behind pillars and
She pushed someone out of the way to escape as well.
yes.
Which, by the way, this is the first of 3 escapes.
Yeah. She gets captured 3 times as well.
Yeah, that's true. And escapes 3 times.
Yeah.
But the first time she escapes, I was writing down, she's like Houdini because already in all the episodes so far, she's escaped numerous times. Remember she did it in the Web Planet? She just kind of grabbed a log and pushed them and ran away.
Yes.
She does that every time, and she escapes. And I'd already written down she's an escape master. And this is after the first of 3. This story.
The show should just be called Barbara.
I know it's his show, so I don't want to say it too much, but yes. This is like the thing with Harry Potter where it's like Hermione for the first 4 books.
Yeah.
This is Barbara for the first 2 seasons. He finds a thief who starts to take his things.
And he's like, hey.
They get in a tussle,
Yep.
and then Ian is going to win the battle because he's an amazing warrior. We know this.
But the thief's brother
Yeah,
hits him over the head with something.
knocks him out.
Ian is hit on the head yet again.
Yeah.
He's got some serious things going on.
On the Wheel of Fortune!
This will make round 1 very interesting.
I have a bad feeling that Barbara's leaving soon.
There'll be other characters though.
No.
You got so many. You got like Leela, Jamie. Oh, Jamie.
They already sound bad.
Jamie's pretty good. I think he's like one of the longest serving companions. Amy, Martha, Jack, Captain Jack, Tegan. Tegan's pretty good. Sarah. Oh, Sarah. You love Sarah. Sarah's so good. Liz. Liz is pretty good. Joe Grant. So good. Ben and Polly. Ben and Polly's good. I mean, Adam's pretty bad. Frobisher. Grace. She's only in one episode though. Ace. Oh my gosh, Ace. So good. Mel. She loves carrot juice. Or she gets the doctor to drink carrot juice. Something happens with carrot juice. Charlie. That's more of an audio adventures thing though. Susan. So she's an important companion. Rory. And Clara.
Why?
And Amy. I said Amy. Adric. Oh my gosh. Just wait till you get to Adric. Harry. Ace. Vizsla. I mean, he's kind of a
I just reversed the polarity.
Reverse the polarity.
He's reversed the polarity!
Reverse the polarity of the neutron.
Reverse its polarity.
Reverse the polarity. Reverse the